Hello and welcome to episode 275 of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
I'm Bill, and I'll start us off. I was watching Wimbledon today, and I hadn't watched it all going into this, but I've always liked the kind of the anti-hero at Wimbledon, because Wimbledon's a little stuffy for me.
Yes.
I visited there. It's really cool. We went on class trips there. We took a tour. We saw they grow the grass. We saw how meticulous it is. But Kyrgios from Australia is not your typical well-mannered tennis player like you usually have. But neither is Djokovic. So both of them are kind of out there kind of people. I kind of laughed when they called it the gentleman's final, because neither of them I would consider gentlemen. But Kyrgios come out and won the first set, got the crowd into it, and they lost the next three, but they were well played, and the last one was 7-6. But I like him. He's good for tennis because he's he'll throw some hot dog shots out there, and he'll do things just to do them, and he'll argue, and I just think he's colorful, and I think tennis needs him colorful.
It needs something.
Yeah, I mean, and in the U.S., and I've said this numerous times before, if we're not good at something, if we don't have anybody, if we don't have a horse in the race, we usually don't care.
It's very true.
And it's been a while since we've had Pete Sampras, I guess, was the last big American player that dominated tennis. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens.
It's true. I guess as we move to the NBA, I think we should start out by maybe pouring one out for poor Russ. We've been a big supporter of Russ on this podcast, and it just might be done. I could see Russ playing in China by halfway through the season.
Well, they get $47 million invested. Nobody's going to take that contract.
Nobody.
Unless
they offer.
I just don't see it even being possible that anybody would take that contract.
No, and I feel like even, because we're going to talk and we're going to transition this into our Summer League conversation, but even the one place where he's probably as beloved as you can be beloved in Oklahoma City, I could see Oklahoma City adding a pick and taking on the contract if they have the cap space, but I don't think they would play him. I think they would John Wall him if they did that and just have him.
Yeah, because they're going, but you never know. I agree with you. That would be one spot that you think he could be treated a little bit differently than anywhere else.
But as I'm developing,
anywhere else would probably take the expiring contract and eat it and get some picks for taking it or get some compensation for taking it, and then cut him loose. And then it's not inconceivable though that somebody could sign him for like the veteran minimum because he's already gotten paid.
Yeah,
if somebody goes down, somebody gets hurt, or somebody thinks he's got a little bit left in the tank for a stretch run in the playoffs, you never know.
It's true, but I mean, Windhorse has been very big on this. He's breaking down everybody's, and he has a big meme moment, obviously, but he's been breaking down all the potential trades. And he said a lot of people around the league, they thought, if he went to play with LeBron, we'd see a different Russ, and we didn't. And I know that's not all his fault, because, LeBron missed a lot, AD missed a lot. It's the Lakers, it's a mess, all that sort of stuff, but a lot of GMs and league people were really turned off by his exit interview, where, he seemed to take no responsibility for any of it, because he didn't play that well.
No, he did.
And, it took Carmelo,
It's a shame because I thought that was going to be a good last chapter for him.
I did too.
Back at home and everything else, and just didn't work out.
I was ready to have the arguments where all the Russ haters were like, well, he had to have LeBron to get his chip. And, didn't happen at all. And now we're looking at, a very sad state. But as the old guard goes out, we watched some Summer League, got some new guard, Dad.
I was, you and I were both very skeptical on Holmgren.
Yeah.
And I'll say I'm still slightly skeptical, but nowhere as skeptical as I was 30 days ago.
No,
he's more athletic. He's more athletic now playing against better athletes. And I would still say he's athletic.
Yes.
He blocks shots. He's not afraid to go in and mix it up. He gets taken advantage of sometimes, and he gets pushed around.
Of
But
course.
he's not timid. You know, I got to give him that. He'll try and block. He's blocked a bunch of shots. He's got a great 3-point shot. He runs the court really, really well for victory.
And he doesn't look like, when you watch Greg Oden and even Anthony Davis at times, they look very lumbering in their steps. It's not that they don't look athletic, but you can just see like something doesn't look fluid, and he looks fluid.
No, he looks fluid. And who's this Giddy that's playing for Oklahoma City?
He was the rookie last year out of Australia. He's fun.
He's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think the Thunder could be a really fun team to watch this year.
Yeah, but then you add SGA.
I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but I think they're going to be a fun team to watch, and I think they'll be significantly improved over last year.
Oh, I mean, with SGA, who's an incredibly good player, Giddy, Poku, Chet. I mean, they've got a unique. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but I mean, the West is pretty weak. I could see them getting, at the end of the season, maybe being around 11 or 12, trying to fight for a playing spot. I
can see that. But they're going to be an interesting team to watch because they look different than everybody else's team.
And I think
it's kind of like the island of mismatched toys kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think the exciting
could be in their favor.
Yeah. But Oklahoma City, Detroit. I mean, we're going to throw Orlando in there because Paolo looks really good. Another summer.
He has looked good. He has looked very good.
I mean, if you're talking about Orlando, Detroit, obviously Memphis has got a nice young team. Oklahoma City, it's nice to see some different young teams popping up,
Yeah. Ivy's looked good from what I've seen, too.
Very good. Yeah, Detroit's got a real nice team they're building up there.
Yeah. It's fun because we need to have talent more distributed through the league to have some fun matchups.
Exactly.
There's too many games. There's too many games just to watch the same teams all the time. So I'm excited about that.
I am as well. While we're on the NBA, here's something you may not have read about, but league ticket, right?
Yep.
If you buy 2K, now you've got to buy the Championship Jordan edition, which is the most expensive edition of the game. But you get a 12-month subscription to the NBA ticket. Now, I thought they should have lowered it and put it maybe with the $99 one. To try to bring it.
How much is this version?
$150.
Woo.
Yeah, so you get the 12 months of the Game Pass, and then you get the game itself, and then I think you get some extras in the game. But I thought it was going to be the $99 version, and I'm like, well, that would probably get me to hook up my NBA TV. Whereas, the 150, I think it gets back to, I don't know. But it's interesting, right?
Yeah, it's a good attempt to tie in to get a younger viewer to watch the games.
And it's NBA 2K23, so Jordan, of course, is the cover athlete again.
Yeah.
And, they're really pulling on all the stops. But I just thought, I know it's taking a big hit, but I just feel like, to get a few more subscribers, you sell it to I feel like the $99 one, you get a lot of people. Now I feel like at $150, you're getting the hardcore people that were already, your Venn diagram. Those are the people that were already going to get both regardless. Whereas at $99, I feel like, someone like me that, I love the NBA, but I just watch it on TNT or wherever I get it. I don't think I'd spend $150 for the game and the pass.
See, as a marketer, I would have said, I'd have probably sold for $129 or $125.
Okay.
I would have kind of been in that mid-range thing. I think it's a big jump. That's a $60 jump. That's like 2/3, again, what you've already paid if you were going to pay $99.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were going to pay $129, it's like a third.
Yeah.
A third more.
It feels a little better.
Palatable.
Yeah. But, you see the real life and the video game integration is kind of nice. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And more kids get to, more Jordan.
Well, and it's good. We'll see what happens. I think, we're coming to the point, though, where, when these streaming packages come out on Apple, you pay like Apple TV, you're paying, our monthly fee, right?
Right.
But then when you get Apple Sports, you pick the game you want to pick.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes a lot of sense that way. And I think they'll end up doing Sunday ticket that way. You'd be able to watch them all, but you should be able to pay a little bit less and just take whatever you want.
I mean, that's
So we'll see where that evolves to.
I've been clamoring for my super team super package every year, where I'm getting that, and I still think that again. I know that's a lot more dotting of T's and crossing of I's and all that good stuff, but I just think if I could get my Mike Tomlin show, my Steeler broadcast, and the post game Steeler show, I think that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, and here's what's crazy on MLB Extra Innings, okay?
Right.
Which I pay for every year. I can watch the channel in the 700s on DirecTV that has the Pirates broadcast. Okay?
Yeah.
But I also have the sports channel for like $10 a month. And because I have the Major League Baseball package, I can watch it. I can still see the same broadcast, but now I get the pregame show and the postgame show.
Yeah.
And I get it on the Pittsburgh station. And you know what's interesting, Jason? The other night, the Pirate game was on Apple TV.
Oh.
It was so horrendous that I turned off the sound and I listened to it on my MLB audio.
Huh.
I mean, you would think it's Apple, right?
Right.
And if you want to make an impression, you're going to have some real talent there doing the broadcast, right?
I would hope so.
There's 4 people I've never heard of. And they looked like the Goonies. I mean, they didn't look like baseball people at all, which is maybe what they're trying to do, trying to appeal to a younger audience. And they were like, it was like watching the analytics broadcast.
Oh.
It was way, way, way over the top. And I didn't get the usual color and things that I really would enjoy if it would have been like an ex-major leaguer or somebody more knowledgeable about the game. So I thought it was horrible.
Yeah, and 4's a lot of people, too.
It is. And I mean, and they were all talking. It was like constant talk. And so I went for I think I did for 3 innings because I wanted to say that I gave it a fair shot. And then I just turned off the sound and got my iPhone out, put on my MLB audio and just listened to it that way.
It'll be interesting to see if that is getting any kind of an audience with that.
Well, it's the Friday night package. It's Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV.
Right.
And so that's what they're going to do. But, even if you follow any team at all and you're used to watching a lot of baseball, you're not going to like it. I don't think. That's just my opinion, maybe.
Yeah. Well, baseball, I think, needs color more than any other sport.
It does, but you can't have this. You can't have this much.
Yeah.
Yammering going on.
No. And I guess we can transition to the less yammering in Cleveland now, because Baker's gone.
Baker's gone, and Baker took a $3 million haircut, which I applaud him for.
Yeah.
So now you have the number 1 and the number 3 pick in that draft competing against each other for the starting job.
Yep.
I find that really interesting. I don't think that's ever happened to have 2 people from the same draft that were top 5 players competing against each other to play the same position.
Especially quarterback.
Yeah. I think it's wild.
And I don't know if Mac...
So, I think Baker will beat him up.
I think so. I mean, they drafted Matt Corral, who seems like he's probably a year or 2 away. I mean, you have to assume. But
yeah.
I don't think you make this trade. I mean, I don't think you make this trade unless you're hoping that Baker beats him out.
Let me ask you a question. If you're Matt Corral's agent, are you crazy about having Matt Corral learn from Baker or Sam Darnold?
Not at all, no.
Not at all. That hasn't been talked about yet, but that's one thing I really don't like. But then Matt Corral is not that much bigger than Baker.
He's not.
So maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing about Baker is, and I saw some other people talk about this, is like when all the Odell stuff came out and Odell's dad stuff came out, Nobody stuck up for Baker. Like,
No.
it's beyond, the people like we played injured last year, and I'm like, that's true. He probably shouldn't have played with a separated shoulder. It didn't make him look very good. He did look good the year before in Stefanski's offense, and Cleveland's been somewhat of a mess, and you could argue it continues to be a mess. But I'm like, none of his teammates seem to care that he's gone or stood up for him when they were talking about, he sucks. Like, everyone was sort of like, yeah. And I think that speaks volumes.
Oh, absolutely it does.
I think,
Yeah, that's your leader on the field. And if nobody's got his back, that means nobody has his front either.
Yeah. Because I think, Seattle obviously is going with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. And granted, there's 5 first-round quarterback prospects that they think are better than all the quarterbacks in last year's draft class that are coming in this year. And Seattle traded away Russell Wilson. Who knows who else they're going to trade? They're probably going to try to, bottom out, get one of those guys. But even they didn't want to bring Baker in. And I think part of it is that. They were just like, look, we don't want him as part of our culture. And Seattle's obviously in a very, because I think Carolina's coach needs to win now. And that GM needs to win.
Need to win now.
Yeah.
And Cleveland could not keep Baker on the roster.
No.
Whereas the 49ers, if I'm the 49ers, I'm going to keep Jimmy G on the roster knowing, and I'm going to say one more time, knowing that somebody's going to go down.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to get something better than you can get right now for Jimmy G.
And depending on, as people have pointed out, in the last decade, he's the second highest winning quarterback on the field. In his 3 seasons with the 49ers, he took him to an NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl. So, for all the faults that he has, he does seem to be a winning player that people like.
Yeah.
And then you've heard the buzz about Trey Lance still, trying to work on his mechanics and arm fatigue, which now the 49ers are saying they don't know what they're talking about. There's been no arm fatigue. But you've got a really good team there. And obviously you invested a lot to get Trey Lance. But if he can't go, And the other thing is, you've got enough salary cap you can pay Jimmy G this year. If you lose him in free agency next year, you're probably looking at a compensatory 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick. So unless somebody's offering that much better than that, I just think it behooves you to keep them.
Yeah. It's going to be hard. It might be harder, Jace, a month from now for somebody to eat a $27 million contract, right?
It's true, yes.
But maybe that by that time you're willing to do, you're going to get something back better than you get right now. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean,
I do think, I don't think they trade him to Seattle.
No. I definitely don't think.
And I do think, I probably won't be that interested in watching the Seahawks this year.
Yeah.
And if I'm Metcalf, I'm really not interested in watching the Seahawks play this year.
No. I think the Seattle is very intent on the NFL version of tanking. I think they like a couple of these quarterbacks coming up. They have a couple of extra picks. I think they're looking, they're not going to, I don't think you tank in football the way you tank in other sports. But I think they're fine, bottoming out.
I think you might be right. We'll see how it plays out, because if Geno Smith is your go-to, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And if he loses out to Drew Lock, that's also, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, and say, well, Geno played good last year. Hey, they weren't expecting him to be the quarterback, so you didn't prepare for him. If teams have a week to prepare for Geno Smith, he'll shut his ass down.
Yeah. And if you go against the 49ers defense, the Rams defense, and all of it else they're going to play, they could be very, very bottomed out.
Yeah. Not good.
No. And as we talked about...
Conference football, colleges, still a lot of ifs out there.
Yeah.
The Big 12 is definitely talking to at least 4 schools, maybe 6. And then the Pac-12 commissioner says he's trying to negotiate an early TV contract deal. But if you think about it, I mean, we're talking about the business of sports on this show. if you're any network at all, why would you negotiate a TV contract with the Pac-12 right now? Because you don't even know who's going to be in it.
No.
It could be 6 teams, there could be 4 teams left, and there could be nothing left. And there's no, you can make all the noise you want about, oh, we're going to negotiate a contract over to keep all our teams together. There's no way. And every one of those teams is looking out for themselves.
Yeah. I know they don't have the power to do this, but as a casual college football fan at this point, it would be nice if one of them just stepped in, like some sort of commissioner or czar, and was like, "Look, after this season, we're gonna reshuffle. We're gonna have our 4 or our 6 major conferences, whatever we're gonna do, and everybody's locked in for 10 years, just so it doesn't become this,
That'd be nice, but that can't happen.
Yeah. Because now it just becomes one of this weird musical chairs of like, I just don't care. I mean, it's on some,
Because they've all got their own TV contracts, and that's what's driving this all.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the ACC, their TV contract doesn't expire until 2036.
I know.
So, and I don't understand, I know enough about contracts, I know enough about the economy. There's no way I would have ever tied up my conference for 20 years.
No.
Because you're going to get passed. You might look really good coming out of the gate. But there's no way that 20 years from now, this is a good contract. No way.
Yeah. Even Lamar Jackson right now. Yeah. Lamar Jackson's still holding out, waiting for other people to sign their contracts so he can get one bigger than theirs.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation.
Yeah.
But he's, I give credit. I mean, he's betting on himself. He's got a lot of confidence in himself and who he is.
I think he's in that range of, though, like, he's offered a ridiculous amount now. And if I know it's easy to sneeze at, 10 million or 20 million more, but at some point you want this financial security, get locked in, stop the conversation, just get back to football.
Yeah, I'm sure the whole thing right now is about what percentage guaranteed.
Yeah. And obviously, if the Ravens, you have a running quarterback, and, it's like, hey. But,
yeah.
And, of course, Deshaun Watson, just like Christian Kirk screwed everything up for the receivers, I'm sure the Deshaun Watson contract is not helping anybody.
No.
Here's 200-something million fully guaranteed for a creep. And Lamar Jackson's like,
and that situation's still in limbo.
Yeah. And if you're Marlon Jackson, you're like, I'm an all-pro. I've had more success than Deshaun Watson in this league, and I'm not a creep. So
yeah.
I want it all guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
No.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. And we're getting close to...
I'll be watching the British Open next week.
Okay.
The Tigers going to play, and they'll jack the ratings up. But I always enjoy watching that one because the course is so hard and the weather's so nasty. I mean, that one's a true test of skill and perseverance. So I will be watching that one Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Nice.
I'll enjoy that one.
All right. We should move into entertainment.
Hey, I have an unexpected entertainment moment.
Okay.
I've decided at this point in my life, if there's somebody I want to see or something I want to do, I'm going to do it.
I think that's smart.
So the other day, I've always liked Jackson Browne, but I've never seen Jackson Browne. So I was listening to a song the other day. I came in, looked up Jackson Browne tour dates.
Mm-hmm.
He's in New York the end of July. I came in, bought a ticket for me on Southwest. Mom flies free. We're using our timeshare in New York to stay there for 3 days. And I bought 2 tickets on StubHub and paid $100 and some in fees, which I'm never happy with.
Ugh.
I got third row orchestra.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Jackson Browne.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to go do it. Just, I don't want to miss out on things. Like, I want to go see, if Lindsey Buckingham ever plays with Fleetwood Mac again, I want to go see Lindsey Buckingham and Fleetwood Mac.
Sure.
But I don't have any interest to see Fleetwood Mac without Lindsey Buckingham.
Or Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, I want to see the whole show.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's part of my entertainment moment. Dark Winds still continues to just be an awesome show. I love it. There's 2 episodes left this Sunday and next Sunday. Unless you have AMC Plus, and you can watch them all. but we started the Old Man last night, which is on FX.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give FX credit. I mean, FX had Justified. They come up with some good series.
FX also has Atlanta.
And I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes. There's only 5 episodes. We're going to watch probably a couple more tonight. But The Old Man with Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow it's solid. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, in some future ones, in case you haven't caught up, What We Do in the Shadows new season starts in about a month. And Reservation Dogs, which is one of my favorite shows from last year, which you can also watch on FX or on Hulu. They have a second season starting in July. And I highly recommend that show. It's incredible. And in my somewhat non-conventional entertainment moment, we actually got together with people and played a board game called Awkward Family Moments, which is a lot like Cards Against Humanity, except instead of a card, you're throwing out an old photo. And, there's just some crazy family photos of people that have probably from like the 70s on. And then you get a bunch of cards with weird movie quotes, and you try to, make the best, be the funniest person in the group.
Yeah.
You sit around with a couple of drinks.
You get a good time playing it.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, very simple. And again, as much as I enjoy certain board games, this is another one that takes about a minute to explain to everybody, and everybody's on board. Some of these board games just get so,
Yeah, that's the key. How long does it take to teach everybody how to play it? That, to me, that's the absolute key for a board game.
Yeah, like this is, if you don't get it in 60 seconds, you probably would not get tic-tac-toe or checkers.
You probably should be playing the game.
Yeah, we got a whole different issue with you. Yeah, and that's, because again, there's a lot of really cool board games out there, but sometimes it's like 45 minutes and you're halfway through the game and you still don't know what you're doing, where this is just like quick. So at a party, it's a very nice party game. And, with the different movie quotes, it's, you got Godfather quotes, Zoolander quotes, you're all over the map, so you can make fun of, old people's old family photos. And
speaking of Godfather quotes, I got to give a shout out to James Caan.
Yeah.
In fact, it was a big day the other day. James Caan, Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos, a couple of 5 really big names all passed. But James Caan always played the same kind of a character all the time.
Very limited.
Really good at it. He owned it.
But Rollerball,
that character, Rollerball,
Elf,
Sonny Corleone,
the dad in Elf, he's fantastic.
He's fantastic in that.
And Misery, also fantastic.
Misery, oh, yeah. I just seen that about 3-4 weeks ago too.
Yeah.
But a really good actor, so R.I.P. James Caan.
And Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos.
And Paulie Walnuts.
Who has a real name.
He was also a character actor in a million other Italian themed dramas.
Yes. He was very Italian in a very stereotypical Simpson sort of way, but it just worked, so.
It worked, yeah.
And I'm sorry I don't know his real name.
Did you have a food moment this week?
I sadly did not have a food moment, no.
I'm going to have a food moment this week. I don't know if it's going to be a good food moment or not, but I've been brainwashed now that I want to go to the Sonic and I want to get the double cheeseburger.
I would say this.
It's a double cheeseburger on a grilled cheese Texas toast sandwich.
I hear you, but I will say this. In the last few months, we did get Sonic as a second meal on set.
Mm-hmm.
And their beef is not great. It's the high school cafeteria burger beef.
But you know what? I gotta try this.
Okay.
So I'll report next week on the double cheeseburger from Sonic. And you get a half price if you order it in the app.
Yeah.
So not bad, Connect. I'm not saying it's going to be great, but I've got to do it.
Yeah, I keep missing out because they'll do some weird Oreo Blizzard type things, and they did that one where they put a big scoop of cookie dough on top of a Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
But I just never made it to Sonic.
Yeah. Yeah. Service at the Sonic is not that great, and consistency at the Sonic also is lacking.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to a Sonic sometimes you could actually get a great sandwich, and you go back to the same Sonic 3 days later, and it's terrible. I don't know what to say.
Well, again, not to mean being political. This is just a flat out fact, but you get what you pay for. So if you pay your employees,
But,
yeah,
so I'm going to go this week and see what I see.
just like the great Office Space movie. If Initech ships out 4 more units, what do I care? I don't get paid. Some sort of profit sharing or something to make it so that it's worth their while to really give their all. Because otherwise, you're going to get miserable people that are there for 6 months and quit. And it is what it is.
So I will do my thing and report back next week.
And hopefully I will go somewhere new to eat at some point this week.
But if you're in Pittsburgh, we did go to Fury's last week when I was there. And again, it was absolutely outstanding. It is, if I could only eat one pizza for the rest of my life, it would be Fury's.
I see.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, and you and I say it all the time, what's the test of a great pizza?
Well, I mean,
If it's a plain cheese pizza,
oh yes,
it's great, then everything else is going to be great.
And that's how they judge it for the World Pizza Competition as well. It's plain cheese pizza. For the people that forget.
So my brother was in town. We went to Fiore's. We actually went to Campini's, which the Fiore's guys used to work at. And I've never seen a pizza chain or pizza restaurant fall so far as Campini's. And it's been there since 1955.
That's very sad.
And I would tell you it's one of the worst pizzas I've ever eaten now, and it used to be one of the best.
Ay caramba.
Yeah. And Fiore's been around since 1979, I think, or 78. So, it's killer.
Yeah.
Everything's good at Fiore's. The hoagies are good. The salad is good. The pasta is good. It's all good. But the pizza is the crown jewel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that's probably about it for this week.
Yeah. I'll be talking British Open next weekend. We'll be talking some more Summer League. We're getting real close to football training camp, so we'll be talking about that.
Yeah. And we'll come up with something new to talk about next week, entertainment-wise, probably, too. I have a couple ideas I'll run up. I'll email it to you later.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a good week.